Welcome back to our Clicks Not Code series. During these videos, we attempt to demystify Marketing Cloud personalization and show quick wins that you can implement for your business. We will be releasing these regularly, so make sure to check back in. Today, we are going to be talking about Einstein AI. Einstein is a complex yet configurable context bandit. It allows marketers to use building blocks to implement a custom recommendation engine. There are a few terminologies and concepts to discuss before jumping into the demo. In the context of Einstein AI, a core item is a central product or item on the current page. This could be a blog or article that I'm currently reviewing, or it could be the product on the page that I'm currently shopping for. An ingredient is the core AI model to be used within the recipe. This could be a co-buy model or it could be a co-browse model. Inclusion and exclusion criteria allows us to tune the model to return products matching the marketing goal. This allows me to filter on things like category, to filter only on credit cards and return only credit card products, or to return certain products that match the current page type. Boosters are a way for us to tune the model to a specific customer affinity. This allows us to make sure that the results returning from the model match some level of the customer profile. Lastly, variations allows us to prevent over-tuning of the model, a problem where the model returns many products that all are very similar. So for example, 5 t-shirts, rather than returning some shirts, some sweaters, some jackets, some shoes. Before you set up your first Einstein recipe, you'll have to do a little setup. We need to tell Einstein what user attributes and objects to use for learning, as well as what we would like to optimize for. This is commonly called feature engineering. To do so, come to your personalization UI, navigate on the left side to Einstein Decisions, and to Feature Engineering. First, I'm going to choose which KPI I want to optimize for. I can choose click, conversion, or goal completion, something like an email sign-up, or other goal that my organization is interested in. In my case, I'm going to look at clicks. Next, you're going to choose which attributes Einstein uses to learn and improve its models. You can use some of the out-of-the-box features, such as the acquisition, behavioral, the conversion, such as card items, or you can use certain customer attributes. Here, I'm going to go to Custom Attributes. Next, I can filter off specific customer attributes I want to include. In my case, I'm going to look at city, my last campaign as city ID, as well as my last campaign objective. With these attributes set, we can go ahead and click Save. And now Einstein will use these attributes for learning. Now we can move on to setting up an actual Einstein recipe. To do so, we're going to navigate to our left bar to Einstein Recipes, and then click on New Recipe. This is where our earlier work on definitions will come into play. First up, I'm going to use ingredients. This is where I'm going to choose a specific algorithm. In my case, I want to look at co-browse. Co-browse, as the name suggests, is an algorithm that takes a core item and returns items that are often browsed by other users who view this item. We can configure that core item by going to the anchor element here. We can choose items that are on the page, maybe items that were in the cart, or items that were recently viewed. In my case for co-browse, I'm likely looking at items that were recently viewed. If we choose to do so, we could also modify a few other elements that go into this co-browse ingredient. The look back element is how we tell Einstein how far into the past to look for customer reviews. We may choose to do something super relevant only within the past couple of days, or we may choose to open it up for a little bit more historical data. In addition, we can configure how much time we want the customer to look at a product before considering that for the co-browse. Right now this is set to 30 seconds, but I'm going to opt to move this up higher to something more closer to 1.5 minutes or 90 seconds. In addition, if I chose to, I could implement my recipe with more than one ingredient. When doing so, I would give each ingredient its own weight, which will allow Einstein to prioritize across the two. Next, I can set up any inclusion or exclusion criteria needed. This is where I can influence the model to return specific products. For example, only return products within a specific category like shoes. For my use case, however, I'm going to exclude products that my customer has recently purchased. This will prevent me from losing out on the chance of showing any customer something new. On the Booster tab, I can set up which affinities I would like to boost for this recipe. This will help tune the model to return relevant products for an individual customer rather than popular products across the collective group of customers. In this case, I've configured a booster for the feature affinity. Features within my object catalog are an object to store product functionalities. These are things like being lightweight, heavyweight, maybe something for warm climate versus cold climate. This will mean that I will not only return products that are frequently browsed together, but I will prioritize products that will have features that my customer is interested in. This will help create a more customer-centric product recommendation, taking my customer's interests and preferences into account. Last is the Variations tab. This is where I will enforce limits on the number of products I return with a specific affinity. When ready, I can give my recipe a name and go ahead and train it. Now that my model has been trained, I can either publish it or simulate it. Simulating is similar to testing, where I'll be able to view my model recommendations for a set of users. This will help give me confidence in my model before publishing it. Not to worry though, Einstein will continue to learn as the model is live and therefore continue to improve. To simulate, I'm going to choose my recipe that I just built, in my case the demo recipe. If needed, I will specify the core item on the page, the anchor item. On the right side, I'll be able to see the products that have been returned. And on the left side, I'll be able to see the specific user that I'm simulating for, as well as their affinities. If I need to, I can re-roll my users or change my page item and then choose to resimulate. If I'm comfortable with this set of users and the recommendations that they've received, I can save this and then go back to my recipe and publish it for use with an experience. Hopefully this session has helped demystify the Einstein AI engine. Einstein simplifies the AI process by breaking it down into separate components. At each step of the way, the user is empowered to configure the recipe to match their marketing use case. In addition, the user is able to simulate the results for a multitude of customers to ensure that the recipe is working as expected. With that, we conclude our session today on Einstein AI. Through these Clicks Not Code sessions, we aim to demystify other areas of personalization. Hopefully this session has shown you how you can easily set up and configure your own AI algorithm without having to write any code. Please make sure to check back as we will release additional content like this in the future.